Crystalturner, along with her wife Kylen Schulte, was murdered in Moab, Utah. Brooke Dane, who is Crystalturner's cousin, shared some aggravation on her Facebook post with the Grand County Sheriff's Office, who is working along with the FBI to help solve this case. Brooke states, "I hate to continue another new year with no answers in the Kylen Crystal case. My aunt is never updated on anything," the aunt being Crystalturner's mother. She states she spoke with the FBI officer 2 weeks ago and still nothing. She states that Grand County Sheriff's Office has never spoken to her aunt. And why do other people get updated and she doesn't? And she is pissed. And now they have hired an attorney because that's the only way they feel they're going to be updated. Nathan Whitney, who is working on the case at the Grand County Sheriff's Office, has not replied to at least 10 voicemails. Brooke goes on to say that she believes this is so unfair for her and her aunt and that nothing is being done, not even a returned phone call. Cindy Hunter, who was the one that found Kylen and Crystal after searching herself with her own resources, expresses how empathetic she is and that she hopes that there's answers and justice. Jason Jensen, a local private investigator on the case, says it's pretty standard for law enforcement not to trust people in the general public, and that they'd rather focus on solving the case than worry about making people happy. And I can kind of understand that personally, but all it takes is a return phone call. He goes on to say that some cases are decades old that he works on, and that this is just less than a year old. And 2 cases that were committed in 1970, how do they feel? You think they're frustrated, pray to God that you don't have to wear their shoes. Me and my family are experiencing that. We have an unsolved murder within our family, and we're never going to get answers. Cindy responds with that they think that they realize and understand that, and it doesn't minimize what they go through for waiting on answers. She states that being able to express ourselves can bring some measure of relief while sharing a sadness that so many of us collectively feel, and I agree with that. But there's a difference when there might be something that can be done, and sometimes it just takes that push, it takes more tips, and that's exactly what Sean Paul Schulte, Kylan's father, is doing. He said that the FBI told him to be prepared for a year or more. That does not mean we don't fight for justice every day, and he has that right. So I guess that's why Dog the Bounty Hunter will now be chasing a new lead in Utah to help solve the murder case. And it has a link to Brian Laundrie. Sean Paul Schulte, Kylan's father, took to Facebook to ask him to help. So even though law enforcement isn't worried about making you happy, family members want answers. And how you get those answers may make law enforcement unhappy. I guess we all have to pick and choose our battles, don't we? Kylan's father has turned to Facebook, and he set up a tip booth to get any information he could to help solve these murders. He wants to know whether it was Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito who were shooting pool at Woody's Tavern in Moab, Utah with Kylen and Crystal. Even though detectives established no link between the two, the private investigator will not rule Brian Laundrie out, as the creepy man that Crystal and Kylen stated to their friends were near their campsite. There was a tip brought to light that firearms were stolen just weeks before Kylen and Crystal's murder. One of those weapons was very unique and can match the unusual bullet casings found at the scene of the crime. It states that the 9mm Hornady ammo is a very specific type of ammo with silver color casing. And they would still like any Ring dash cam videos or any witnesses or professional service providers to come through if there's any tips. Kylan father states, "We need someone to say, hey, I remember a creepy guy trying to sell a gun." He is also looking for any information regarding vehicles seen coming off Forestry Road 4651 in the LaSalle Mountains around the time of the murder. If anyone has any information, of course, please reach out to the FBI, to the Grand County Sheriff's Office, or the private investigator listed. Persistence is key. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.